So people want to know, do you still maintain your homes in the U.S.?
No,
I don't.
I started traveling in 2018, and I sold my car, sold my house, sold everything. I put my stuff into storage, which eventually I'll get rid of. But I don't think there's a need to have, if you plan on traveling long term, I don't think there's a need to have your American bills plus the bills that you're going to have when you're living in another country. If you're leaving for a month, of course, no big deal. But traveling for even 3 months, I would recommend just getting rid of everything. You can always sign a new lease when you get back.
Anybody else want to add to that?
Well, right now I'm renting my house out in Long Beach, California, but I'm planning on selling it in the new year because I figure I'm not going back there.
You're not going back to America?
No. Well, only to visit, yeah.
To visit. What you got, Christine? What do you think? Are you maintaining everything?
I actually had my family and we owned a property in Atlanta when I left, and then we sold it while I was abroad, which was a headache and a half to try to sell a property when one of the owners is not in country. So I have residency like through my sister. I send my things to my sister's house, but I would say if you know you're going to be abroad for a while or forever, you should probably think about like divesting before you leave, unless you're going to have an investment property. Because let me tell you, like trying to go back and forth with like attorneys, what they need, having documents, signing them, needing them to get notarized, having to go up to the consulate. And luckily here there's a consulate in Barcelona, but if I lived somewhere else, I'd have to come to Barcelona or Madrid. And then FedExing all the things, and buyers want to hurry it up. It's a lot. So I agree. Like divest. If you're really about it, just divest.
What do you got?
One quick tip is if you do own property in the U.S., when you're going abroad, if you're looking to purchase a home, you can't go to the bank and get a loan, as easily as you can in the U.S. or not at all. So if you do own a property back home, think about, and you're renting it out long term, think about just being able to pull out your equity in order to make your purchase abroad.
Can I piggyback? I agree. I love what everyone else said. I think there's an emotional attachment when you're unable to let go. That various people will have different reactions to this. I know that I actually left with my partner, and for me, I was like, let's get rid of everything. I don't want to have to think about it. We're not coming back. If we're going to be here for a year, why would we maintain a lease and then sublet it out? Luckily, we haven't had a headache with it, but I imagine what Christine said and some other people have mentioned or alluded to is that it could be a real big headache trying to do these things when you're abroad. And so I would just encourage anyone who's considering holding on to a place, knowing you're trying to live abroad for a year, to reevaluate why that is, because it seems like a pump fake, like a half step. If you're not really committing to your life abroad. And so just mentally, I think, and emotionally, there may be some work to be done to ensure that you don't have a trap or some sort of suction back to your old life that you don't want to deal with. Less headaches, the better.
And Felina, you went and bought, you done been out these streets 10 years and then bought property in South Africa and everything. What you got for us?
What's crazy? I had some of the contents of my house shipped to South Africa about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I am not gonna hold you. I got all this shit, and I was like, this is more stuff. Like, I don't even want it. So, the idea of packing light, when I first did it, had 2 pieces of luggage. And, when I came back to South Africa this time, it was the same thing. I had 2 pieces of luggage and the house that I had, but it's just the rule of thumb is just to pack light. Pack as light as possible. Just mitigate any of the stresses and the attachments that you have at home. It'll make your life so much easier.
And I just moved recently. I haven't been out here in these streets more than a year. So I did get rid of everything and I packed some stuff in my best friend's house. If she watching, hey boo, I promise I'm gonna come get it. But what Peyton said is exactly true. It was, you're going to have this feeling of like, well, what if, and Lisa's a year in the States. So would you be gone for a year? Yeah, most likely. I mean, so it's easy to pull off, but there is some type of thing that just keeps that holding. And because I wish I would have told myself, just like everyone's suggested, just go ahead and get rid of it. Because it's not like you're moving to Jupiter, guys. Like they have stores. They have stuff there. And if you're going like to Europe, some of the stuff is smaller. Like your room may be smaller or your kitchen may be smaller. And here you come with your big ass massive situation in your bedroom and it ain't gonna fit. So you're gonna have to get rid of it anyway. So it's hard, but get rid of it.
Even your clothes. I mean, like, I mean, sometimes that's a hard thing because a lot of people overpack, but you don't even need all the clothes that you own.
No.
Over here, you really don't. You really don't. It's just taking up space.
Okay, so
plus your style changes as well. I'd say when you move, your style changes.
I agree, because I used to wear like 4.5-inch, 5-inch stilettos back home. I ain't popped. Okay. I got them here. I ain't put them on. Or like when I had a boyfriend, like I would put it on and he'll put me in the car, and then we would go to the place, and I would walk 2 steps to these cobblestones will tear your ankle up. Okay, so I would walk into the building, and I would have them on in the building, and then he would go get the car, and I would just get myself back in, and that was it.
Hilarious.
So you're right. Your style absolutely changes. So I see my friends, some of them are watching it. For some reason, y'all texting me and y'all see I'm busy. Like, hold on.